Welcome to Authentic Private Practice. I'm Jenny, and I'm here to help you create and grow your private practice that's really true to you. Today, I want to give a broad overview of marketing and why I think it's a dirty word to most therapists. So, most therapists hate this. When people join my practice and I encourage them to self-market, they often, even if they have dreams of a private practice someday, they often get a pit in their stomach because a number of reasons. One, I think we didn't go to school for this, right? Most of us didn't have any drive to learn advertising, learn how to market ourselves. Most of us feel really uncomfortable with self-promoting for a number of reasons. One being we have no clue what we're doing. Two being we tend to be more people-centered people, not as into talking about ourselves or promoting ourselves. There's also the whole imposter syndrome, like feeling like we're not good enough. What do we have to offer? All those kind of self-esteem related questions that every therapist, I feel like, goes through to some degree, especially early in our careers. But without marketing, the clients can't find you. Um, some of us don't like marketing. It feels like a dirty word because we just don't know where to start. So there's so much to do. I have no training in this. I don't know what to do or how much to do or how much effort I need to spend on this versus that, or if I need to do it all. Some of us just don't know when it will end. There's this question of, do I have to do a certain amount and then I can be done? And like I said, do I have to, market to every platform? Do I have to do advertisements? Do I have to do networking? Do I have to do online listings? I mean, it's endless, the things you can do to market yourself. And so that can be so overwhelming that none of us do any of them well. So why do we have to do this? The answer is because if you're in private practice, you have to. We've heard the field of dreams saying, if you build it, they will come. It is not true for therapy. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It is just not true. If you get an office and you get beautiful business cards and you get beautiful furniture and you have your paperwork all in order and you are ready to go and see clients and you open up your doors, there will be no one there waiting to come see you. You might get lucky and have someone stumble across your office building and find you that way. But I will tell you that is a very small percentage in my experience of clients who ever walk through my door. I'd say foot traffic is the bottom of the barrel as far as likelihood that people are going to find me that way. So how do we get in front of the people that need to find us? How do we let them know we're here? This is also an important piece of why, marketing isn't about self-promotion just for self-promotion's sake. It's also the way that we help our clients find us when they need to find us. So I'm going to give you the best tip that I ever learned with marketing, which is to lean into your strengths for marketing. You cannot and should not do absolutely everything. You will do a crappy job at all the things if you try to do everything. What you need to do is pick a few things and do them very well. That is the key to being well marketed, especially in private practice. So, what are the things? Think about what kind of strengths you have, maybe outside of therapy. Maybe you are wired as an extrovert. In that case, maybe you would be well placed to do things like public speaking events. Maybe you could connect with local churches or offer really low cost or free classes at your local community ed. Those are things that can make a big difference. I've gotten referrals that way if you're comfortable with public speaking and that kind of thing. If you can do that well, it's a great way to attract clients. They get a little feel of your vibe, they get a little feel of what you know and what you can offer, and you're giving them some great service for a low cost or for free. And so they already feel like they've received something of value from you and they're more likely to come see you. Um, you might also do well in networking types of marketing. Now, I'm going to mush all the terms together. So if people are classically trained as marketers, they're probably going to be like churning in their stomach. So I'm not a marketer. We'll just come right out and say that. I'm going to mush it all together with, generally speaking, how are people going to find you? So marketing, networking, advertising, they're all kind of the same to me, just different avenues to get in front of the people that you want to find or that you want to find you. Networking can be a phenomenal way to get clients or to get referrals. You want to think creatively about where your target clients or where the gatekeepers are. So when you think of, the communities or populations you want to reach, you might think, like I said, the gatekeepers of those communities. If, for example, you have a faith-based practice, who are the leaders in the faith who other people in that faith community are likely to go to first when they really need help? If you're part of a Christian tradition, do they go to their pastor first when they're having marital issues? In the Jewish tradition, do they go to the rabbis? Whatever the tradition, consider who those potential gatekeepers are. And if you can network really effectively with the gatekeepers, you may have a good source of referrals. I personally get a lot of referrals from gatekeepers in the faith-based communities that I serve because I've taken the time to have coffee with them, to answer their questions, to provide free services to those communities to get my name out there. And it really does pay for itself. Aside from the benefit of getting those referrals in the door, it also makes me feel good and aligns with my own vision and mission of serving that community. So networking is a big one. If you are more introverted, you might consider more one-on-one type networking scenarios. So maybe it feels uncomfortable to go to, a BNI, business networking kind of group. But maybe you could reach out to a few people on LinkedIn and invite them out for coffee one-on-one, or, any number of creative things you could do just to meet people. And when you network, consider the way that you present yourself. You present yourself as offering something to someone, they're much more apt to do it than, hey, let me tell you how great I am so you can send me people. Offering to support them in some way is a big benefit and makes it feel worth both of your time. If you're artistic or creative, you might consider outlets like social media. I could do whole trainings on this. I certainly can in the future. If you're interested to hear more about particular social media tricks, definitely comment below. I'm looking for suggestions always for future videos. But social media strategies can be very effective at helping the right people find you. Even within that, there's different considerations like where your target audience might likely be. So there's different reasons you might choose to use some social media outlets and not others. I personally have not found a lot of value in marketing my business on Twitter. I've heard people compare Twitter to standing, a bunch of people standing in a room and just shouting, hey, listen to what I have to say, and no one's actually listening. That's felt like my experience with Twitter. Whereas I have found some traction with Facebook, although it took me a while to get there, to where I felt like it was actually working and I was seeing the fruit of that labor. Snapchat, there's another one that I strategically decided early on not to invest a lot of time in, because even though I work with teens, more of the teen generation are engaging in Snapchat, but their parents are the ones making the appointments. So it might have led to engagement, but it wasn't leading to actually connecting with those clients. Where their parents were was on Facebook, which is where I tend to spend most of my social media marketing time. So even within social media, you need to think carefully about where your target audience is And some of that's just as basic as a Google search. Like, where is this generation of people engaging? Where are they spending their time? Where am I likely to have them stumble across me? Those are the places you want to spend your time in marketing. There are advertising sources that you can pay for that can be really effective, especially if they're done well. We've had a lot of luck with things like Google Ads, and all of those kind of specific marketing approaches really have their own systems in place. I've personally paid people to help me learn how to do Google Ads more effectively, because I knew that people were having a lot of luck with them, but initially I felt like I had no clue what I was doing. So paying the right mentors, going to free classes at the Community Ed for how to do those kind of things can be really helpful, and it can be really effective for reaching your clients. There are always online public listings. So things like Psychology Today, Lion's Den, there's a number of other therapy listings. I tend to lean towards Psychology Today just because it is the most popular still, by far. If you do a Google search, they will show up #1 pretty consistently, which is also a good sign that if your clients, your prospective clients, are looking for you, they will find you there far more likely than some of the other potential options out there. Now, I've heard mixed reviews from therapists as far as how effective those kind of things are. I will say my bias in my practice, I ask everyone to have a Psychology Today profile, because in my experience, if they are well written and well created, they are very effective for marketing to potential clients. Now, I've also seen them done terribly, and it's no surprise to me that they're not getting calls. I've seen people who don't put any thought into the picture that they put up. And, I've seen people put up pictures of themselves in a suit, and the general feedback, the honest feedback from someone who wasn't their friend or the mother is, ugh, they look stuffy. They look really stiff and intimidating. Why would I want to talk to them about my personal stuff? I can't tell you how many people I have heard over the years have picked people on Psychology Today because they had a nice smile. Now, personally, that's not why I think I would choose a good therapist, but some clients, that first impression, that image, is what makes the decision for them. When you're writing content for those kind of listings, or anything where you're writing an introduction to who you are, you should be speaking to your ideal audience. You should be speaking to them in first person language, rather than in kind of that detached third person speak. So instead of, sometimes people find that things in life are hard and blah blah blah, well, that feels stuffy and it feels super generic, and it makes you completely unmemorable, and it doesn't connect with your potential client. But if you start with things like questions, do you feel lonely? Do you struggle with conflict in your marriage, having the same fight over and over again, and you're just not sure where to go? Maybe I would be a good fit for you. Things that are more personally speaking to your ideal clients are going to be more effective. They're going to resonate more. But trying to market yourself as a generalist makes you unmemorable. You might still get a few clients that way, but you will get far more if you're really speaking to your niche, and you'll get more of those clients that are really the right fit for you. So being really intentional in how you write those kind of marketing pieces is huge. There are always the old school options of printed ads or mailings. I will say for myself, I've not done a mailing campaign before. And part of my thinking for that is that I don't know a lot of people in my age bracket and younger who pay much attention to most mailings. Doesn't mean you couldn't get some, especially, if you're mindful of who your target audience is. And if you can mail strategically, but that's also a pretty expensive way to go, depending on what you're trying to get across. Printed ads, there's all sorts of different ways to do this. There's everything from, paying a massive amount of money for a billboard to um, having information printed in a church bulletin. I have not done a billboard before, but I have done things like sponsoring school folder programs and church bulletins and those kind of things. I will say that I have not had great success with those. Um, that's not to say that they couldn't work well for people. It's possible that something was off in my marketing message, but I have given up on most of those endeavors because I just haven't seen much return on investment for the time and money spent trying to make that work. There are some things that I would not even consider trying, to be honest. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. You are welcome to have your opinion, but I would not waste a penny on Yellow Pages because I have not owned a Yellow Pages since I lived in my parents' home as a teenager. I don't know anyone my age or younger who uses the Yellow Pages. I mean, what people in today's day use is Google. Honestly, I don't even know if my parents still own their Yellow Pages because they've converted to Google too. So, I mean, you really have to think like perhaps if your ideal market was really elderly folks or people who, for whatever reason, were scared of their computers or scared of the internet, maybe the Yellow Pages would be great for you. But for most populations, I feel like that is a dying thing that they just haven't allowed to fully die yet. So consistency is key with whatever approach or approaches you decide to take. It is really important to get the message in front of people and do it repeatedly. You will not typically see fruit from a single advertisement. It will be a very low amount of traffic or potential clients coming your way from a single effort. Really, the people who are super successful in this are the ones who do repeat mailings or consistent social media campaigns where they are showing up in front of their potential audience week after week after week. Those type of approaches tend to be far more effective. So consistency is key. One of the kind of the overarching marketing strategy that I usually use is what's called content marketing, which is kind of another approach. It leans into giving away information, education, resources for free to build a relationship with your potential customer. So that includes things like writing blog posts that are of interest, that are not just sales pitches. They're not, hey, do you feel lonely? Call this number. It's, do you feel lonely? Let's talk about how isolation shows up within this community. Let's talk about how seasonal affective disorder could make you want to isolate more. And here's 5 tricks to try to challenge those thoughts. Now, if you like writing, this kind of marketing strategy might be a great fit for you. Doing more of the content marketing, maybe you want to develop a blog. If you don't love talking to people, but you're comfortable making videos, maybe you want to do a vlog where you just talk about issues. And again, you're giving away something for free because it makes, well, for one thing, it serves your audience, it serves your potential clients. And it also makes them feel comfortable with you. They develop a sense of trust with you that you are a reliable source, that you speak in a way that connects with them, and that you've done this service for them knowing that you may not get anything back. It really builds that trust, which in our business can be everything. So content marketing is one of those big strategies for me. That also leans into things that are way too complicated to get into here, things like upping your SEO, which is your search engine optimization. So when we think about how people find us online, which in my experience, most people find us online unless they're from direct referral. Search engine optimization means that you do the things that tell the computer algorithms to put you higher up on the list when people Google you. And things like a content marketing strategy where you're putting out a lot of new stuff, a lot of vlogs or blogs or a really original website that's well done makes Google rank you higher, so people are more likely to find you, because people are far more likely to find you if you're number 4 on page 1 of Google for therapists in your area than they are if you come up on the 20th page. How many of us actually go to page 20 of Google in our search? Not many. So what do you think about what I've shared today? What do you think would be an area that you might be more comfortable, more interested in digging into? Do you agree with me that marketing is actually really critical for your clients to find you? And I would challenge you to come up with 1 or 2 action steps, even if those action steps are, I'm going to learn more about this social media platform and how I could effectively market here. Or I'm going to learn more about um, how to effectively network. Or I'm going to start writing a blog just about things that I care about and figure out how to put those online so that people could actually find me. So I encourage you to think about a few action steps you could take as you get going um, to start getting the word out there. Remember, this is really important because your clients will not just find you because you put up a sign. And direct referral is wonderful, and it is bread and butter for a lot of therapists. But before you can get direct referral, you have to have your first few clients. So I hope this has helped you think about some new ways of thinking about marketing. And if nothing else, I hope you take away that you should lean into your strengths and your unique gifts and don't try to do everything. Just do a few things and do them really well.